So I'm gonna jump right into it today. I'm giving you guys a dewy skin foundation tutorial because it's winter time and it's pretty cold outside. In some areas, Houston, it's pretty crazy weather. You can never predict if it's gonna be cold or hot or rainy or whatever. But yes, I just like to be really dewy in the winter time. And so I'm going to be going in with this NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator. And then I'm also going to be using this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. It already kind of has a glowy, dewy effect to it. But I like putting these layering them on top of each other because this foundation is very responsive to whatever type of primer you put under it. So if you put a mattifying primer underneath, then it'll look a little bit more matte. And if you put a glowy, dewy primer underneath this foundation, then it'll look a little bit more dewy. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I'm gonna do it right now. So now that I look like I have been dipped in bronze, I'm going to add on my foundation. Also, I should mention that you can totally add this liquid illuminator into whatever foundation you want to use. But since I'm already using a dewy one, seems kind of like overkill, but you totally could add this to like a natural looking foundation that gives you just like a natural finish and add this sucker into it, like mix it in like that, and it would give you a dewy finish. So I'm just dotting this foundation around my face, and then I'm gonna connect those dots with my beauty blender. I like to use a beauty blender for dewy foundation looks, especially just because it kind of adds moisture to your face while it gives you that flawless foundation. So yeah, I'm just using my damp beauty blender, which is kind of a little bit too damp. I need to go wring this out just a little bit more. That was crazy. Okay, let's get to blending. One of the things I struggle with as a makeup person is whether or not I'm gonna do my foundation first or my eyeshadow first. And like, I kind of lean, if it's an important event, then I'm gonna do my eyes first just because if I mess up, I'm gonna wanna fix them. But for like every day, I'm usually just like doing my foundation first, then I do my eyeshadow, and I just pray for the best and hope that the fallout doesn't catch me slipping, you know what I'm saying? But for this video, I did not want to have like super dull looking eyes while I was on camera. So I'm just gonna highlight under my eyes with my Shape Tape Concealer from Tarte. Concealer is like mega full coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eye, but only my under eye. Like usually I would set my entire face, but because I wanna look dewy, I want to look glowy, I'm not gonna set my whole face with a translucent loose setting powder because I wanna keep that dewy effect, and if I set it all the way, then I'll lose it. But I'm really only gonna set it for like a little bit. I'm not gonna bake or anything because lots of times I get dry under my under eyes, and I bet a lot of you guys do too. And baking under your eye for too long really just kind of intensifies that dryness, and it can just end up being a disaster. I almost did this off camera. Silly me. If you're super worried about your foundation just slipping and sliding and creasing and crap, I don't know, but just going all over your face, you totally can set it just a little bit with some powder, but just don't get crazy with it because it's gonna undo all of that glorious work that you just did. So I'm gonna go off camera and just finish my brows real quick. And now we're done just like that. I went ahead and contoured my cheeks, bronzed them up just a little bit while I was doing that little bit of magic. Do you guys' noses ever just like itch? And it feels like you might have a hair up there and you're not picking a booger, you know, you're not gross, you're not crazy, but it itches. For my blush and highlight, I'm going to be using the Sweet Peach Glow Kit palette kit, I don't know. And I really like these colors for my skin tone. I honestly, when I first saw it, I was like kind of skeptical about whether or not it would work for a woman of color, but peach is just a really universally flattering blush, and so I'm excited to use it on camera for you guys. Let me know in the comments whether you guys do your blush first or if you do your highlight first, because sometimes I don't know. I'm using this highlighter just to finish up my face. Give you like a super subtle little glow. So I'm just adding this to the top of my cheeks, top of the nose. When you're going for a dewy look, you don't want to look super like highlight, like you just want it to be subtle, you know? So that's why I like this one by Too Faced, and just like all subtle highlights. Like I'm just a fan of looking natural with my makeup, except for my eyes, of course. But yeah, and then also I really like this blush because it adds just a little bit of illumination as well, since it is a little bit of shimmer. If you were to use this shimmer blush, that would add just a little bit more illumination. The sparkles in the blush would help to like reflect more light on your face. Since I'm using this blush, I kind of don't need it, but do you, boo. Go ahead and add that sparkly blush. Make your face pop and glitter as much as Edward from Twilight. To finish off this look, I'm going to use NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. I like this setting spray because it doesn't dry out your face. It helps you keep the moisture in your skin, and it keeps your makeup looking funky fresh. Maybe not funky fresh, but like fresh. So now that I'm done with my facey face, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish my eyes off camera, and then I'll be back. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big old thumbs up. Maybe even share it with a friend, because that would be super cool. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already so you can stay up to date on my latest videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!